this is Mommy Sexual reporting for duty. So as you can see here, we have Sayaka and Homura. More specifically, it's Devil Homura, and obviously Sayaka is she's kind of holding Devil Homura bridal style. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, there's some dialogue that can be found here, which says, "This is the second time you've carried me like this, Miki Sayaka." Obviously, Homura is saying that, and then Sayaka is like, "Well, you certainly don't seem to mind when I do, Homura." Okay, so now we have Sayaka, who is, I guess, planning a kiss on Devil Homura's hand. You can kind of see this evil smirk that's here, and it's kind of funny because Sayaka's eyes look kind of lifeless. Now, here's another interesting scene where we see Sayaka, who appears to be locked up in a dungeon, and she's lip-locking with Homura, or it kind of seems like Homura is kind of forcing a kiss on a shocked and surprised Sayaka, who doesn't seem to be resisting, though it could just be because she's in shock. Now, this is another interesting picture, and what I find really interesting about this one is the words that follow, because it's funny, you have Sayaka, who looks like she almost wants to put a sword to Homura's neck, and she still kind of has a little bit of like a lifeless gaze to her, and Homura is kind of looking, you know, evil a little bit here with the lips and the eyes. So you scroll down a little bit more, and what's being said here: "She asked me once to protect you. That is another promise I have yet to fulfill. By bathing in darkness with me forever, by helping me fight all evil in the world, I will do just that, Miki Sayaka. Stay by my side, and whether it's oblivious boys who can't understand you or a goddess who neglects you for her own wish, I'll make sure nothing ever hurts you again." We have another scene here where we have Sayaka in front of Homura. Basically, it looks like she's proceeding to kiss her hand, and Homura's kind of just, you know, sitting there. I guess she's looking kind of smug here a little bit, you know, at Sayaka's obedience. It's almost like she's sitting on something, and Sayaka is just she's kind of catering to her as her knight. Which is what says here, the devil and her knight. Okay, so the reason that I'm showing these images is because I personally kind of like the idea of Devil Homura and Sayaka being a thing. And it's funny because I never really thought about this pairing in the past. I never thought about it, and I can't say that I've ever really cared about it. But seeing this interpretation of Sayaka and Devil Homura's relationship, I don't know, like, I find it to be really interesting because both Sayaka and Homura, like, it's been shown within the series that these two really dislike each other. Like, they really, really hate each other. Immediately from the moment that Homura appears within the original anime, Sayaka has had, like, a serious problem with her. Like, it's been very clear, and when you consider what happened at the end of Rebellion, now there's even more of like a rivalry / hatred that Sayaka has for Homura. And of course, we know that Homura was never really a fan of Sayaka at the beginning as well too. So the idea of these two getting together just feels like so crackish. Like, it feels like such a crack, you know, insanity kind of pairing. But I think that's why I like it, because it's so dark. Like, can you imagine for a second? I mean, regardless of whether or not this ever becomes a thing, because it probably won't, but let's just, like, you know, have fun with it and just pretend and imagine a scenario in which this could actually happen. Like, for some reason, I really like the idea of this happening. Like, imagine what would happen if the series of Madoka continued, and rather than having Sayaka be against Homura, imagine what would happen if Sayaka decided to actually obey Homura. Like, what would happen if Sayaka decided to just give in to her and just allow herself to be her knight rather than be the knight of Madoka? I personally think this type of twist would really make the series really interesting. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, because it probably won't. Like, I don't feel like there are any hints within the series that point to this possibly being a thing, though if it did happen, it would be one hell of a twist when you think about it, because Sayaka has always been against Homura, so for her to completely flip the switch and for her to actually be Homura's knight and obey her would be really interesting. So what do you guys think of this pairing? As I said, I find it to be really hot, and I kind of just wanted to highlight this simply because I like the idea. Now, again, I'm not really the biggest Homura fan, as most of you know. Like, she's not somebody that I hate. I'm actually neutral toward her, but I still like the idea of this pairing because, again, it's just really dark and just really twisted. Like, imagine what would happen in the series if after the third movie, Homura somehow brainwashes Sayaka into being her knight, or let's just say that Sayaka has some type of like pent up sexual frustration that she had in regards to Homura, because they say that sometimes hate and love can be somewhat closely connected. So wouldn't that be interesting if somehow those feelings of resentment and anger turned out to be some type of like sexual frustration that she has with Homura, and the result of this pent up frustration, she decides to obey Homura. Like, I just really like the idea of this happening, to be honest with you. Like, I really like right now, this probably won't last forever, but I really like this pairing. So what do you guys think? Can you guys come up with any like fun scenarios in which these two could be connected in some way, like after the third movie? Like, can you come up with anything that would make sense, that would be really fun within this series itself? And if there's anybody who finds this pairing to be interesting, let me know in the comments below. As I said, this is just fun. This is just all for fun. This is not like a super serious discussion. I just wanted to express my interest in this pairing. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you can come up with like a scenario that'd be really interesting. Peace out.